से देखेंगे उसका जो लिथोलॉजिकल यूनिट्स है उसकी स्ट्रेटिग्राफी हम उसको डिटेल से देखेंगे. And this one is the Indian plate. So we came across the Kashmir syntaxes, right? We saw Kashmir syntaxes where the younger rocks were exposed in the core of the syntaxes, and this one is the Nanga Parbat syntaxes. ठीक है? यहाँ पे एक और syntaxes है, आप ये ले लें. अगर हम आपने Tectonic metasediments का नाम सुना होगा. Tectonic metasediments. And these are the metamorphosed continental passive continental margin sediments of the northernmost Indian plate, right? So because they deposited within the 30, that is why it's called the Tectonic sediments. So in this what we studied about the Alpurai group metasediments, right? But the stratigraphy of the Alpurai group metasediments, Marghazar formation, and then Kashala formation, and the graphitic schist, right? The Marghazar formation was amphibolized. There was some patches of basic rocks, and that's why we called it an amphibolized. So they were amphibolized. But in the Kashala formation, there was a mixed lithology, like marble. We have seen marble in it, and then the schist, pelagic schist, which were exclusively consist of garnet, right? Garnet bearing pelagic schist. What happened that because of the tectonics, so for example, if I mark this one as Swat region, okay, we have a syntaxis here, another syntaxis, which is called an Indus syntaxis. Indus syntaxis. This is a syntaxial structure, Indian Indus syntaxis. And in the core, we have the Archean rocks. So what happens is because this sequence is truncated over here, because very very deep-seated Indian basement rock protrudes here. Over here we have melange rocks, right? And in this melange rocks, we studied blue schist, and that's just like a pocket of the blue schist, and extensio emerald mineralization along this melange zone. So this melange zone, because of a very intensive protrusion of the continental crust, this melange zone is missing over here in this part. So we have in this part, we have some ultramafic rocks. It's called a Jal complex in this one. So we have an ultramafic rocks in this one. Here we have again the exposure of these rocks, of these Triassic rocks here. But the Triassic rocks are metamorphosed, like the grade of metamorphism of Triassic rocks is more. Okay. And then we have Nanga Parbat syntaxis. So we stand here. This is where Naran locates, right? This is Naran. So in Naran, we see these rocks. So this is the same Kashala formation, same Marghazar formation, and Situ schist. So if you see these rocks, you can see the garnets in it.
Yes.
Okay. So this garnet actually belongs to the Triassic rocks of the Kashala formation. अब यहाँ पे metamorphism का वो different होगा, क्योंकि grade of metamorphism is different, and that's why we call this metamorphism as the Barrovian metamorphism. It's not a Buchan metamorphism. Okay, we don't see any low pressure metamorphic rocks, metamorphic index members like andesite and cordialite. So यहाँ पे वही stratigraphy extends, मतलब the same stratigraphy extends towards the east, और आप वो देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे. ठीक है, so वही Indian plate में we still stand within the Indian plate. ये सब कुछ आप Indian plate के अंदर देख रहे हैं. I will make a cross section, and from the cross sections, this is just a generalized cross section. What actually happens? For example, if we making an Indian plate, okay, and here this is the South New Capital, and here is we develop the subduction zone within the New Capital, where this is an intra-oceanic subduction zone. Okay, here. And of course, this margin is the Eurasian plate. Sorry for the messy diagram, Eurasian plate. Right? And if I make an age like the 105, that's very roughly to 19 MA, that was the situation of the, and it was in the Indian plate that was drifting towards north. Okay. So because of this subduction zone, the Kohistan Island Arc and Ladakh Island Arc, and with the northward drift of the Indian plate, the ocean consumed, right? The ocean, the intervening ocean is completely closed. So when the collision took place between the Indian plate and the Kohistan Island Arc, then some part, like the collision, that was an ongoing, it's still ongoing collision. But what happened that some part of the Indian plate were also subducted with that subduction zone. Okay, so what happens that because of the buoyancy, because these rocks are light, when you subduct these rocks up to 10 kilometers, then 15 kilometers, then 30 kilometers, the rocks become more denser, but still they are more buoyant. So you upar aa jate hain. Because of this buoyancy, very deep-seated rocks, they also accompany them in the backward journey. Okay, so here we can see some pockets of the eclogite. So you know eclogite, this is metamorphic rock. And the Shangla, we have seen the blue schist rocks, right? So यहाँ पे हम एक diagram बनाए. So blue schist rocks they actually form here because they are very high pressure rocks and low temperature rocks. But eclogite they form here. Ultra high pressure and temperature rocks. Okay, and these rocks exhume back. इसका मतलब है कि इन rocks में they have seen the asthenosphere or they have crossed the Metamorphic plate boundary. ठीक है, अब जब ये rocks वापस आते हैं, तो वापस आने में अभी prograde metamorphism शुरू हो गया. ठीक है, that was prograde metamorphism. Prograde metamorphism. On the way back, that is retrograde metamorphism. वो है आपके पास. तो अगर इसका मैं आपके लिए cross section बना लूँ, and how people know about this one. So what happened? If the collision took place, and there was subduction of the Indian plate and some part of the South Pacific, right? They were subducting beneath the Kohistan Island Arc. So यहाँ पे मैं कुछ collision को वो कर दूँ. So that's यहाँ पे जब इनको zircon मिले हैं, zircon is actually zircon without any rim. And this rim growth will tell you about the tectonic, will tell you about the timing of metamorphism. So उन्होंने जो date किया है, that was back in 55 and 50 MA, right? The first collision. So ये Indian collision था within the with the Kohistan Island Arc. फिर उनको किसी और डिप पे ये मिले हैं zircon और उसमें rim growth हैं, and this rim growth the constant is 50 MA. Okay, and in 50 MA they have some faults. quartz was there in the rim, and the depth of the 50 mm. And over here, if you draw the line, stability line of quartz and coesite. Coesite is also a polymer of quartz, and this is IoT and this is IoT. So this coesite form at a very high pressure, right? High temperature and high pressure polymer of the quartz. ये रेड में जो कोएसाइट है वो शो करता है कि ये ऑलमोस्ट 90 किलोमीटर की डेप्थ पे एक्सट्रीम होगा, ठीक है। और इनका एज इन्होंने किया है 47 ठीक है। अब लिथोलॉजिकली जो एक्लोगाइट है, लिथोलॉजिकली कंसिस्ट ऑफ ऑक्साइड which is Faradi, right? The line of Faradi, and then we have some rope garnet, and of course, there might be some in some places glaucopene also reported from it, right? So the glaucopene can be remain as a remnant within the eclogan. So अगर आप इसको ऑक्साइड को देखें तो ऑक्साइड जो है that is calcium, sodium, yes, you're right. And then we have some magnesium and iron and aluminum, right? And this is right. This is the composite of that one. And this is the higher of it, magnesium and gold and aluminum. And this iodine. We have both something, so that is spiral. And we dream about the coesite. Okay. So this is the main composition of the eclogates that are exposed in this region. Okay. अब यहाँ outcrop पे आ जाए, and the outcrop you can see these patches. So these patches, and these patches is very unusual. You might see some garnet in it, and the ground might be the omphacite. हम आगे जाते हैं. डेप्थ में चले जाते हैं तो एक्सह्यूम्ड हो जाते हैं, और उस एक्सह्यूमेशन की वजह से रिट्रोग्रेड मेटामॉर्फिज्म जो है वो खास होता है, ठीक है। सो यू कैन सी हियर, वी कैन सी दिस माइका डेवलपमेंट, राइट, फेंजाइट, या आप देख सकते हैं ना इसको, माइका डेवलपमेंट,
यस सर, ठीक
है। तो फेंजाइट एक्सक्लूसिवली डेवलप हुआ है। इसका मतलब ये है कि ये रॉक जब एक्सह्यूम्ड हो रहे थे, इसमें मे बी सम लासोनाइट भी होगा, देयर मे बी सम लासोनाइट इन इट। तो लासोनाइट इज अ वेरी रेयर इंडेक्स मिनरल, मेटामॉर्फिक इंडेक्स मिनरल, मगर ये कि जब सबडक्शन रिलेटेड रॉक्स है उसमें लासोनाइट होता है, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे ये जो आपको शाइन नजर आता है, दिस इज ऑल माइका, रिट्रोग्रेड माइका, ठीक है। मे बी अ फेंजाइट और मस्कोवाइट। तो ये रिट्रोग्रेड मेटामॉर्फिज्म की वजह से इसमें आ गए। तो वो इसमें आपको एक्लोगाइट के सिर्फ पैचेस नज़र आएंगे, इस तरह एक ह्यूज बॉडी नज़र नहीं आएगी, क्योंकि वो पैच जो है वो किसी तरीके से रिट्रोग्रेड मेटामॉर्फिज्म को सर्वाइव करता है और वो एक्सह्यूम हो जाता है, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे ये चीज़ें आपको नज़र आते हैं। इस गार्नेट माइकाशियस, आप इसमें गार्नेट भी देख सकते हैं कि शाइन करता है, दिस वन इज मस्कोवाइट, ठीक है। और साथ साथ जो है सेले का जो क्वार्ट्ज है और फेल्सपार और लाइजोक्लेस वो इसमें होंगे। अब ये रॉक कहाँ से आए हैं? दीज आर द इंडियन प्लेट रॉक्स, और इंडियन प्लेट रॉक्स मोस्टली यहाँ पे जो है वो पैलेयोज़ोइक एज के हैं। और पैलेयोज़ोइक एज में अगर हम एब्टाबाद ग्रुप को देखते हैं तो एब्टाबाद ग्रुप इज मोस्टली डोलोमेटिक, इसमें लाइमस्टोन, मगर ये है कि अगर आप इसको देखें इट्स मोर इलेक्ट्रिक, ठीक है। अब ये प्लेटक रॉक्स हमने कंपेयर करने में द इंडियन प्लेट, तो पेशावर बेसन में जो जाफर कंडाव फॉर्मेशन है वो जो है वो भी फिलाइट्स है। उसके अलावा और स्ट्रेटिग्राफी किया है उसकी, मिस्री बार्डा क्वार्ट्जाइट है और नौशेरा क्लिनस है, ठीक है। तो ये उसके साथ जो है हमको रिलेट कर सकते हैं इसमें जैसे से दे माइट बी ऑफ डिवोनियन एंड सिलोनियन एज, ठीक है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे कोलिजन की वजह से कंप्लीटली मेटामॉर्फोज हो जाते हैं। इसको अगर आप देखें, so you can see the development of schistosity. These rocks are highly schistose. हम इसमें एक वन सेट ऑफ क्लीवेज देख रहे हैं, बहुत वो नहीं है इसमें ग्रेनुलेटेड और ग्रेनुलेशन क्लीवेज ज़्यादा डेवलप नहीं है, मगर माइक्रोस्कोपिक स्केल पे जब आप देखेंगे सो वी कैन सी और वी कैन एस्टेब्लिश दी डिफरेंट जो वो हैं क्लीवेज है जो ग्रेनुलेटेड या जो एस और सी फैब्रिक है हम इसमें डेवलप कर सकते हैं। अगर इसका हम मेटामॉर्फिक एज मालूम कर दें तो द मेटामॉर्फिक एज विल बी ऑफ 40, 47 to 45 mm। यंगर एम्परेंस भी होंगे, ठीक है। तो ये फुल हिस्ट्री है इंडियन प्लेट के रॉक्स की, और ये जो है क्योंकि टेक्टोनिक फ्रंट पे है सो इसका ग्रेड ऑफ मेटामॉर्फिज्म जो है वेरी हाई है। अभी वेरी सून वी विल एंटर इनटू द कोहिस्तान एंड इंडियन प्लेट के जो रॉक्स हैं वो यहाँ यहीं पे ख़त्म हो जाएंगे और हम एंटर हो जाएंगे कोहिस्तान में, ठीक है।
Schistose rocks in the south. Once you go down to the Babusar top, you observe these mafic, ultramafic lithologies. These mafic, ultramafic lithologies are belonging to the Sapat ultramafic complex, which is basically the basal unit, of the Kohistan iron ore, representing the upper mantle in the lowermost crustal part. In Sapat area, we can encounter a complete sequence of lithologies of the Sapat complex, which is round about 2 by 2 kilometer in thickness, and that 2 kilometer thick sequence is consisting of pyroxenites, chromatites, husbergites, ternites, and gabbros. In terms of regional perspective, how we can define the Kohistan iron ore? It is representing one of the best exposed iron ore units, which represent rocks from the upper mantle going through the lowermost crust, middle crust, reaching to the topmost crust. The only other iron ore complete sequence which has been abducted in the world is the Talkeetna arc in the Alaska region. So that is the significance of the Kohistan iron ore, right? Now if we want to see that complete section, right, let me draw a rough sketch. Towards the east of Indus and Texas, जिस तरह असगर साहब ने डिस्क्राइब किया, we can encounter ultramafic rocks, right, near Jijal, which is called Jijal complex. This is basically the basal unit of the arc, which represent the mantle rocks. The Moho section is exposed here, right? Another although relatively smaller unit, is the Safed complex, which we are observing. So, the Jijal complex and the Safed complex, they are the ultramafic units and they represent the basal unit. Now, further going towards the north, we will encounter another unit which is called Camina and Theolite unit. And then further north, we encounter another major unit which is called Chelas complex. Chelas complex is also petrogenetically very important unit, and it's comparable with the still water complex as well as with the Marinsky Reef complex of the South Africa, जहाँ के which is important economically for platinum group elements as well as for the chromatite.